give me shelter. Simple life, it's all we want to live. Give me food, give me clothes, give me love, and give me shelter. Yeah.
So welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the We Too Are Librarians Movement platform, your distinct and dynamic platform that speaks to and for the masses. We are not in the business of manufacturing players, pimps, and hustlers. Rather, we're in the business of changing, revolutionizing the thought process of our people, not only in Liberia, but even around the world. Again, this is your one and only platform, the platform that speaks to and for the masses. We are not in the business of manufacturing players, pimps, and hustlers. Rather, we're in the business of changing and revolutionizing the thought process of our people, not only in Liberia, but even around the world. First and foremost, I would like to apologize that I believe I had a post on Facebook that we will be starting out live at 8, I believe 8 p.m. Eastern Time. And due to our personal obligations, we were not able to meet up our obligation as far as starting at 8 p.m. And so we first and foremost want to apologize for that. We've had a whole lot going on with us personally, and so we wouldn't share that on our platform. But we believe that we have a more obligation here to share with you our thoughts, our teachings, and things of that nature. So we wanted to make sure that we come out here and conduct this broadcast. So initially, we've alerted you that our lives will be every Wednesday. Yesterday, we had a phenomenal time with one of our guests who's going to be on the show. He's no other but our own brother, and he's a force also to be reckoned with. The esteemed Stephen Cooper, who's going to be live here on Tuesday at 8 p.m. Hopefully, we should be able to, stick with our time. This brother is he's awesome. Has his own clothing line. He has served the military for years, and I mean, I'm not going to say too much about him, but definitely he will be on the show on Tuesday instead of Wednesday because that's his availability, and we want to make room for our guests, so that we can have those appearances. We will make adjustments to our schedule. So again, we want to apologize that we did mention that we will this show would have been conducted or staged at not even staged, conducted at or performed at 8 p.m. But due to our personal schedule, we were unable to meet our obligation or our commitment. But for tonight's show, we want to, again, this is a continuation of our show from last week or the last several weeks. We were not on our podcast. We decided the last couple of days, which was on Tuesday. I believe we used our regular Facebook a medium to have our broadcast, and we talked about the a national blueprint for our country, Liberia. And on New Year's Eve, the topic that was actually put out there, that topic actually spoke to individuals, and the topic was what is your life's blueprint as you transition over to 2025. As we all know, usually on around December, after we have exhausted 364 days and maybe 65 days counting, and sometimes based on a leap year, 66-day minutes, we would say we have our resolutions, and resolutions will have a host of an area of things that we would talk about. We feel as though we're able to commit to them, and then just several weeks, maybe a couple of days into the new year, we are not able to commit to it. So what we wanted to bring to the forefront tonight is to bring a topic that I think is going to make a lot of sense if we can adhere to these teachings. Uh, you know, Definitely going to make a difference in our lives as individuals, as well as collectively as a nation. will make a significant difference in our lives. And so tonight, our topic is, the quest for a blueprint. And the reason why we try tonight to condense our topic, the topic would have been a little bit longer to say the quest for a blueprint for Liberia. Um, we could have had that spell out there in quotation, but we decided that we will, just condense it. This platform is the We Too All Liberians Movement platform, the platform that speaks to for the masses. We're about the masses. We're about the general public. We want to make sure that our people are raised from the pit, because we believe that a lot of our people have eyes cannot see, they have mouth cannot speak, ears cannot hear. So we are, as part of the downtrodden, we want to make sure that we are the voices for the voiceless. We have the eyes for those who cannot see, the mouth a piece for those who cannot speak. So tonight, we'll definitely like to come up here with a topic simple, plain and simple, the quest for a blueprint. And on Tuesday, as well as Wednesday, I believe we talked about just the significance of a blueprint. Before a building is constructed, we do not want to sound redundant, but the thing is, we as the We Too movement, we're beyond just the ordinary, and we believe that faith comes by hearing and hearing the word. The more we hear this, the more this is resound, just like we had the topic for a very long time. For the lack of knowledge, the people perish. How can they know until they have a teacher? So we believe that we have this moral responsibility to come out here and share with our nation, share with our people, both in the diaspora as well as our people locally in Liberia. Not only are we sharing information as to who has done wrong to the country, but we also what we are more concerned about how we can correct these wrongs, and that's why we use for extending example, we use the quote from Benjamin Elijah Mace, who said that it would not be sufficient for Morehouse College to raise just clever graduates, but rather produce individuals who are, who can be trusted in not only public life, but also in private life, who are willing to accept responsibility for our wrongs or for the wrongs and are willing to correct those wrongs. So tonight's topic is the quest for a blueprint. We believe that the problem that our country has, as we always said, problem is not only politics, but it has to do with the quality of persons that the country has produced. Omar Manfatu would say the reason why Liberia is in the condition that's in, because the kind of people that the country continue to produce. It's just like we say, it takes a village to raise a child. We don't want to be sound redundant. Just like one would say, to be a king, you have to hang with kings. To be queen, you have to hang with queens. You know what I mean? So your environment does have an impact on you. I know it's a fact that some of us, we're so resilient, and because of our nature, we're able to, live. It doesn't matter where we live at in areas where we experience heart condition. We still are able to thrive, make it, and make something of ourselves. But a lot of us, for example, just what our kids see, is what they're attracted to. What they align with is what they're attracted to. So the reason why he wants to be a singer, the reason why he wants to be a rapper, the reason why he wants to be a basketballer, because this is what he sees. So we're asking for a blueprint here, and what we decided to use last week, as just to give was a picture risklessly, to give a picture of what we need to do, is that before a building, and because the thing is, we're talking about what is your life's blueprint. So we are asking now this government, we want to ask them what is, the quest for a blueprint for this nation. And we see exactly what's happening. I was watching the phone talk tonight, and there was a guy who was being interrogated about, a scholarship here, and I'm not, he was allegedly, I don't know if I would say being accused, but based on the conversations, you can see that this dude, there's something shaky about him because he's not being factual, he's not being truthful. And the same thing here. The reason why people will find a way in the government, into high places and will be corrupt, will not be truthful, will not be sincere because of what they have been taught. And so that's where we say, how can they know until they have a teacher? So our platform is not here, to bring you the gossip. It's not here to bring you the news, but we're here to teach you to see how we can correct these wrongs. The wrongs that have been done. And so last week, that's why we said that Dr. King, we use Dr. King as an example. Dr. King and the few females who actually crossed the Edmund Peterson Bridge did not cross the bridge because they wanted to be seen on television. They actually crossed the bridge because they wanted to correct a gross wrong. And so this is exactly what the We Too movement wants to do. So as you all know, that the We Too movement is not just a community, it's a way of life. We Too movement is deeply rooted in the principles of balance, growth, unity. The We Too movement focuses on creating harmony across all aspects of life. And we transcend, boundaries. And so tonight, again, as we say that the quest for a blueprint, it would have been laid out or in quotation for Liberia. And this is exactly what we need because if we were to use Rwanda, a landlocked country, who's now today is the Singapore of of Africa. You know what I mean? Because Rwanda is one of the cleanest countries. I can say it's the cleanest country in the world, and the standard that Rwanda has set, world standard. So we want to bring that to the forefront to say the quest for a blueprint. If we can put together our blueprint for this country, for Liberia, I believe strongly we'll be on our way to victory. We'll be on our way to success. We'll be on our way to, emancipating our people from the pit. So last week or the last couple of days, we decided to use just to give a picture here to say that before a building is constructed, the owner of the building must consult an architect. And who's that architect? Is the one who designs the building. And that owner already has a conceptual view or conceptual framework of what he or she wants his or her building to look like. And he goes to the architect, tell the architect exactly what he wants this building to be like. Whether the building is good 4-bedroom, 5 bedrooms, it's a high rise, 3 stories, or maybe just conventional single, just not a high rise, things like that. So that would determine the kind of foundation that building will have to have. And so tonight we want to bring that into context to say exactly what is, the quest for a blueprint for this country. And so we believe that because this is not a blueprint for Liberia, so we'll find this country keep moving inside. And that's why last week we mentioned before the revolution and after the revolution. So what is the blueprint for this nation? The quest for our desire is to have a blueprint. 1994. See, Rwanda had the genocide. Rwanda would come up from whatever she found ourselves. Millions were killed, but this country was able to emancipate herself through a visionary leader. Paul, to be the bacon. Hope for Africa. To be the Singapore of Africa, or the cleanest country in Africa. Because what Rwanda, the visionary leader had a plan. Their vision 2020. We're talking about the arrest plan. We're talking about rescue. The government was actually this UP government was elected on the Metro rescue arrest agenda, agricultural role. We talked about education, sanitation, tourism. I believe there was something else that was recently added. First and foremost, let me go back. I want to commend the government on the decision to, bring to the forefront a new provost, hopefully tomorrow, which is today in Liberia, new provost or president of the university in person of, I believe her name is Lady uh, Maki. My pain or something like that, something of that nature. But I don't know her relationship. But we're grateful that we have this lady. Hopefully, she is able to transform the university and things of that nature. But let's get back because I don't want to get off track. I want us to stay on focus on the topic for tonight. Because and that's why I always say I feel as though that the solutions to our country's problem, to Liberia's problem, also having a blueprint, is in proximity. For example, Rwanda has proven to be an example. This is a country that we can use as a sterling example. We can stand on her shoulder to make a difference in Liberia. We can also use, even though one would say it was a military coup, the young man's Ibrahim Traore. It doesn't matter the age. I mean, Solomon, we can use Solomon as an example. So Bokai may be 80 some more years old, but we have a country that is about two centuries old, and this country is so far behind. So it poses a major question, or questions. We have questions now. The quest for a blueprint for this country, because without a roadmap, without a strategic plan, without a blueprint, I am not sure if we are going to be able to succeed. And so, because with that blueprint, we will be able to have some level of continuity. So it doesn't matter who steps into office, whether it is Ellen Johnson Sirleaf, whether it is Joseph Boakai, whether is Joshua Weir, whether it is Cummings. I mean, the list will go on and on because we a small country that has, a number of political parties. You know what I mean? And the reason why we have all these political parties is because we're selfish. We've not gotten to the point to be selfless. It's not about the country. It's about self. So until we can get to that point, I mean, we'll continue to find ourselves in the position that we're in. So Rwanda, from 1994, we see that Rwanda has made significant strides. You know what I mean? The country now is a beacon of hope for Africa. As I said earlier on, this is the Singapore of Africa, the cleanest country in Africa, under the leadership of a visionary leader. So it's plain and simple. Maybe what we need to do, since we're Africans, I said that we cannot just go to one of our African countries to go and get, what I mean, some help. So we can use them as a role model because they are succeeding. I think Rwanda is making headways in Africa. One may have some criticism, and criticism is not bad because at the end of the day, Dr. Ricky once said, he said that criticism is the price that you pay for leadership. And the day you are unwilling to be criticized is the day that you're unfit to lead anybody. I'm going to try to break this down. You know what I mean? Because a lot of people have complained to me, look, Aite, you need to break this thing down. And the truth is, yes, we want everyone to understand it because this platform is for everyone. And this is why we're saying that we too are Liberians movement platform. So we want the diaspora to be totally involved. And this is why we are going to try as much as possible to reach out to every single individuals. You know what I mean? We'll reach out to everyone as much as possible. You know what I mean? And so if you have a reporter, if you have a comment, excuse me, if you have a suggestion, something that you want to like to espouse, something that you'd like to say, we're open to that because our goal and objective is to ensure that this country become better. This country be an example, country that was founded in 1822. I mean, by 1816, the people were already there trying to, just find a plot. And then 1847, the country gained independence. By 1979. This country, demise of the country was actually as a result of that coup. So, we want a blueprint. We want a roadmap. We want a directory. How can we move forward? And we believe that, like we said, that the solutions to Liberia's problem is in proximity. So we don't need the West. You know what I mean? Because we are Africans. You know what I mean? Just like Kwame Nkrumah said that the independence of Ghana was nothing without the independence of the rest of the countries in Africa. So we're saying that Liberia, yes, Liberia can be emancipated. We can be able to liberate our people. But the reason why we have found ourselves in the condition that we're in, excuse me, because of the quality of persons that we continue to produce, so we can change the mindset. If we can re-educate our people, and this is why we're saying Rwanda uh, after the genocide was a post genocide in Rwanda. Rwanda was more focused on economic growth and technology. You know, what I mean, strict anti corruption measures. You know, what I mean, was employed, and due to that, you know, what I mean, under the auspices of a visionary leader who was no other or is no other but Paul. You got me. So we believe that we have a leader, you know what I mean, who is walking in that limelight, who you know what I mean, is will align himself with such you know what I mean, strategy and an objective to ensure that the country be better. Sure enough, you know, Liberia will be better. Look, what is the vision for this country? You know what I mean? Because Rwanda had a vision 2020, and that was focused on education and healthcare. You know what I mean? Coupled with infrastructure development. You know what I mean? Technology, information technology, and all that stuff. So we see that the country is thriving now. It's doing well. If we're to, you know what I mean, take it a step further also to talk about Rwanda, not only Rwanda, but also talk about what we call it. What is this country called? Burkina Faso. You know what I mean? Because this was something you can see that Rwanda, I mean, Burkina Faso is now doing well. You know what I mean? We all we need is a visionary leader, one who aspire to ensure that the country becomes better. You know what I mean? It's not about, for example, I have friends, I have colleagues, I have associates. You know what I mean? Yeah, just because I'm friends with you, there's no amount of affiliation, friendship, acquaintances, or whatsoever that would take from country. Because when it comes to country, I think nothing else, you know what I mean, when it comes to true patriotism, to see this country that has been around for more than 150 years is approximately going on to 200 years. What is the way forward? What is the blueprint that we can put together? And that's what I thought. Like I said, you know what I mean, our agenda last week, we talked about the blueprint, you know, before building is constructed. You know, the builder consult and the architect comes up with the blueprint. The blueprint is the pattern by which that individual or the builder of the building will follow to construct that building. Because without a blueprint, no, we will be off track. You know, from the blueprint, we can determine the amount of resources, financial resources that we need, the human resource, laborers that we need based on the timeline, you know, based on the scope of work, based on the quality that we need. You know, we'll employ all of that. We'll be able to determine and say, no, IP, the building is going to cost this. So we can apply this same model, this same strategy to this blueprint that we're asking for. Now, I mean, we cannot be all over the place if we do not have a blueprint. I'm telling you, we're preparing ourselves for a major demise. This country would never be able to move forward. This country would never be able to emancipate herself from you know what I mean, from the condition that she's in. And so that's why we're saying, because of a visionary leader. Here we have Paul now, who's been in government for more than 10 years. Because of his effort, you know, no one is perfect. There's still some issues. This is a man who has a, you know, what I mean, he's a feminist, I would say, to an extent, because the government, the cabinet, I believe 61% stand to be corrected. Females, female entrepreneurs, business owner. I mean, it's about empowerment. But the people are happy. How is it that he's elected into office again, again, and again? You know what I mean? And when we find ourselves, a country that's been around for more than a century, almost 2 centuries, We're talking about, you know what I mean, or the CDC, you know what I mean, correlation for democratic change, whatever. 100 days, who did better or who was a lot better when it comes to, I mean, we say, how we're measuring performance. And I'm in scorecard to say, how did Buckeye, the UP, perform? I don't think this is the time that we should be talking about that. This is the time that we should consolidate our effort, come together, talk about a way forward, come with a plan that should be focused on, like I said, anti-corruption. That would be one. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Education. You know what I mean? Technology. Because this is the time that we're living. Why will Rwanda attract foreign investors? Because of a blueprint. Why will Rwanda be called the country, the beacon of hope for Africa? A country that is landlocked. What we have, Rwanda does not have. I mean, because I can tell you for a fact, just the challenge that Rwanda is faced with, the fact that she's landlocked. When we have a coastline and the natural resources that we have, so are at, we have more liberty to succeed than the country that is landlocked. You know what I mean? Because there's some level of constraint and control that minimize the country from being on top. But here we are, we have a coastline, we have rivers, we have mountains, you know what I mean? With the natural resources. You know what I mean? I'm pretty sure we do have the human resources because we have people that have traveled outside the country. You know what I mean? Here's a country where we have the lifespan of our people. So what is the vision for this country? Now we're in 2025. Let's look at 2020, 2030. Sit down and say, oh no, we need to put together a national agenda. A blueprint. That is what we're asking now to say what is the blueprint for this. Our desire. We are demanding blueprint. We've not come here to politicize anything to say who stole, who did this and did that. So the guy who was being interviewed or interrogated today on Spoon Talk, the representative who is in office, who wants to have the all the universities, who wants to have the gas station, who also wants to be a merchant, he wants to be an educator, he wants to be a pastor, he wants to be everything at the expense of his people. But here we are. And we're asking now for a blueprint. How can we have so that everyone can be empowered? Everyone can have a seat at the table. Everyone can have access to this national cake. This is what the We Too movement is demanding. I'm asking the diaspora, the educated ones. You know what I mean? Because you have your doctorate degree, your master's degree, your bachelor's, your associates. And I will continue to say this over and over and over again because the degree that you have is not a document that you should put on the wall because that's a social contract. It calls for all of us. I talk to people like, oh, hey, how many viewers do you have? I'm not interested in views. But I want to make sure that our people are educated. Civic education. You know what I mean? Just because you don't need a master's degree or a bachelor's degree or, an associate's to know what's wrong and what's right. The simple things that we need so that everyone can live, and to be able to reach their full potential. Again, like we said, and sometimes we go back and forth. By no means can no man gain righteousness except he freely gives those things that he loves. So we have not taught our people all of that. How can they know until they have a teacher? For lack of knowledge, the people perish. So we've come to the forefront to bring a topic that will sensitize you, that will provoke you and me as well. The quest for a blueprint. Without a blueprint, we will not be able to achieve our goal. Our vision will perish. We do not have visionary leaders or leaders Citizens must be involved. We all must be involved. I believe it was with a visionary mindset that Rwanda is where she is today. 1994. I was in 1989, right? 1990, and there was a series of war. I was in Liberia for the Octopus, not only 1991, Octopus and the April before I left the country. So there's still, and that's why we continue to expire, optimism over cynicism. We see. Regardless of everything. If we are selfless, if we become selfless to say this is exactly what we want, which of course is what this country needs. A blueprint. You know what I mean? I'm sorry that I'll always go back and forth to say, oh, the country was already founded on a very poor foundation. Unfortunately, this is what it is. Because the people were not organic in penning or in how they drafted the Constitution. Did they actually draft this Constitution, or the Constitution was a copy of the United States Constitution? And this is why we find ourselves in the situation that we in. Because at the end of the day, if we were to pen our Constitution, with the draft our blueprint to say this is the kind of people that we want to be. Oh, we go beyond tribes. You know what I mean? We go beyond ethnicity. We're not ethnocentric. It's not about our geographical relocation, but it's about, you know what I mean, the country as a whole. Patriotism. You know what I mean? And being nationalistic about the country. And I strongly believe that Paul Kagame of Rwanda is. And so we're saying that because unfortunately we do not have, a role model or giants or heroes that we can look up to say these are the giants on whose shoulders we can stand to say, we can follow their pattern, their thought process, so we can set this blueprint or blueprint that has been set to say now we can go ahead, put in the context, continuity to move forward so that we can have this country move on the path. You know what I mean? We have doctors, we have lawyers, we have engineers, we have everything. So we'll go back again, talk about the quest for a blueprint. You know what I mean? Maybe someone did not have an opportunity to watch previous show, but we did say that the blueprint is the pattern by which, we can use to construct the building. We'll have the site layout. We'll have our foundation plan. We'll have a floor plan. We'll have the walls and, things of that nature, windows, the roof and all of that. You cannot have your roof without having a foundation. And we did say that the foundation is the most labor intensive. So we're not sounding redundant, but we want to make sure that this message goes so that it resonates with everyone. The man Fatu who sell her kobo, Patamba who's the plank seller, the Papa who's the shoe repairer, Oma who's selling her low corn, the Oma in Nukutan, Douala, West Point, everybody, we all, no one is more Liberian than the other. But who can make it better if we don't have a roadmap? You know what I mean? We keep playing around, playing games with our people. There is a need for a blueprint. Without a blueprint, we will not succeed. And that's what the book says. I believe it is in Habakkuk. Habakkuk said that write the vision, make it plain. I said that. To be in existence for a little close to 2 decades, 2 centuries, and we are not able to pen a blueprint. So all we are teaching our kids now. Everyone wants to be a representative, in the government, a senator, Senate pro tem, or a president and things of that nature. No, not all of us being called to do that. You know what I mean? So we need to focus. How about we'll focus on the economic growth? Technology, this is the time that we find ourselves living in. I was listening to the news on Saturday, and there was something about the kids that have been born in 2025. Unfortunately, some of our people will not even have, they won't be able to mess around with computers. You know what I mean? So there are certain things that would never be introduced to, will come to planet Earth and then will die. So we'll say the ultimate one is not a liar. He said that if I said it, I would do it. We're holding him accountable to his word. But we have people who have come to subjugate, suppress, and oppress. So let's get back to the table, the drawing table, and talk about what I think we believe we need to do. And that's why we're saying that, you know, being the president, being in government, you know what I mean, is a matter of public policy. That's your job. It's a matter of public policy, especially being the president. President, your job is a matter of public policy. Representative, your job is a matter of public policy. You are there to represent the people, a representative sample of the whole, meaning that, oh, you're part of the people that you represent in Yucatan. You're part of the people that you represent in Douala. You're part of the people that you represent in Garnersville, depending on your district and things of that nature. So let's prioritize education. You know what I mean? Economic growth. We should focus on that. Technology should be prime on the agenda as well. Strict anti-corruption. We definitely must go against corruption. Should be part of our blueprint. You know what I mean? Our vision should focus on education, healthcare, things of that nature. Plan should also focus on infrastructure development. Look at what we're doing to ourselves. Substandard. Everything is so you see your public works. And unfortunately, we say we have a Department of Public Works. Public Works in Monrovia cannot be the eye for all of our construction. So that's why we need to decentralize. But that's not the point today. But we just want to say the blueprint. How can we go about? So what can we focus on now? You know what I mean? How do we attract foreign investors into our country? So that, you know what I mean? Because in the first place, without safety for our national security and things like that, investors won't want to come to the country. I saw a couple of people that were being interviewed yesterday by Spoon Talk. And these people cannot even articulate themselves. And so you will feel that, or feel like you're even better than them, or the guy can't even express himself. Look at how the guy talking. You know what I mean? The guy he cannot express him because we are responsible for that. And that's where we go back. You know what I mean? In some of our previous lives, we asked the question as to what type of people we want to be. What type of country do we want? What type of people we want to produce? What type of roads we want to build? What type of constitution we want? Our healthcare system, what type do we want? You know what I mean? The quest for a blueprint. And this is where we're going to sit down. You know what I mean? I'll go back again to the blueprint. You know what I mean? In project management, is something called a critical path. You can't have a roof if you don't have the wall. You cannot have a wall if you don't have the foundation. So those are steps. And we talked about that the foundation is the most labor intensive. And this is the problem that we have. We also had topics and I think it all coincide with the blueprint. Our children should be exceeding us. The book says that the latter shall be greater than the former. But how can that happen if we're not making any preparation? And so if you have tuned in, as usual, you're watching the We2 All Liberians Movement platform, your distinct and dynamic platform that speaks to and for the masses. We are not in the business of manufacturing players, pimps, and hustlers. Yes, we are in the business of changing and revolutionizing the process. There's no way, shape, or form that you will come to the We2 Movement platform and walk away without learning anything. The quest for a blueprint. President Borka, this is your opportunity to demand that we have a blueprint. I'm telling you, it's going to be even difficult. You know what I mean? We said we have a new provost or president who's going to be inducted into office tomorrow to serve as president. You'll definitely, Dr. Lately, her name, I believe, my prayer, there's going to be major challenges because of the kind of people that you're going to be dealing with. These are people who do not believe in accountability, transparency. And so if we would say, you know, I mean, I just moved back and forth to talk about our institution of learning, this institution that was once a premier higher institution of learning has collapsed. You know what I mean? I traveled when I was in Liberia. I had a privilege, a very privileged opportunity of seeing, you know, I travel. There were a couple of videos that I made on my way to Bentor. And so I peeked around the University of Liberia, a Fender campus. See your medical college. See the university. See the university itself and what is being said about the university. So part of our blueprint should focus heavily on education. But you know what? It's true that we can say, oh yeah, we brought an outsider. She's worked 30 years. She has this and that experience. But no, if we do not have a good foundation, it's going to be difficult. I'd rather have a good, solid foundation from my primary school, you know what I mean, elementary school, secondary school, high school, and don't even have a college degree. Because what benefit or what good it is to have a college degree? You know what I mean? When I don't have a good foundation, and this is why we want to say picture risk asleep. Sorry, I will use that word. We just want to create a picture to say that it is much better to have a good, solid, you know what I mean, foundation, high school foundation, primary education. Because there were people who went to school who had just sixth grade education that could challenge, that today can challenge the quality of university students that we're producing. Just because you graduated from the university, you would say, oh, you know, I've been graduated from University of Liberia, so, you know, I'm my man. Yeah, let offer PhD program. No! Unfortunately, we got to speak truth to power. We don't want that. We cannot settle for mediocrity. You know what I mean? I always go back. My mentor, Dr. Benjamin Elijah May, said that it would not be sufficient for Morehouse College to produce just clever graduates, but rather produce individuals who can be trusted in both public and private life. Can we trust these people that we're producing at the university? A guy who never even did 2 semesters, but we will confer a bachelor's degree or master's degree. And so then we feel good and we are complacent. How do you go to sleep? We need a blueprint as to the kind of people we want. Our economic growth, technology must be introduced into the country. But I mean, we need to go step by step. Strict anti-corruption, measures should be employed. And our key focus should be on our long-term vision. Now we're in 2025. Let's say 6 years in the government. Yeah, y'all said 6 years in the government only because you don't want to serve in government. And that's not the measure of a man. The true measure of a man is what we will leave behind. And so this is what we want to ingrain and imprint, engrave into the minds of our people. So we believe that, oh yeah, without a blueprint, we will not succeed. Without a plan, we cannot succeed. Without a strategic plan, without any goal and objective, just like Benjamin Elijah Mays said, the greatest tragedies in life is not reaching your goals, but having no goals to reach for. I don't think this government, our people, being around for almost 2 centuries, we have no goals, we have no objectives, we have no strategies, We do not have a blueprint. So what are we building? We'll be playing all around the place. This has nothing to do with William Talbot. This has nothing to do with Samuel Doe. This has nothing to do with Charles Stiller, the interim presidents that we have. It could be Amos Sawyer. You know what I mean? And the other guy, I can't even remember his name, but Charles Stiller, Ellen Johnson Sirleaf. You talk about the most recent one, Josh Weir. What we need to do now is to take the bull by the horn and say, no, this is what we want for these people, for our people. This is the country. What does it mean to be a Liberian? We can incorporate that into the blueprint, the quest for a blueprint, our identity, who we are. The people or the persons, the quality of persons that we want to be will determine what this country outcome will be. And until we can do that, we'll continue to find ourselves in the situation that we're in. So if you're tuning, you're watching the We Too All Liberians Movement platform. I mean, you know what I mean? I like to tonight, if we have, you know what I mean, individuals who are interested in participating in the show. If you'd like to, our numbers out there. You can call 484-318-5668. I believe strongly that sometimes the way we come off, you know what I mean, the topic is not, this is no gossip. This is about building the country. These are true teachings that have the propensity to build the country and make the country better. For lack of knowledge, the people perish. Without a vision, the people perish. How can they know until they have a teacher? I'm sorry if I'm being a little bit amped up, but again, this is the We Too All Liberians movement. The We Too movement is more than just a community; it's a way of life. You know what I mean? We're deeply rooted in the principles of balance, growth, and unity. We continue to stress that. Excuse me. You know what I mean? This is the way of life, not just a community. We want to see everybody come up. So the quest for a blueprint tonight is our topic. You know what I mean? Great foundation. Maybe Borka needs to start from somewhere. Borka, I'm telling you, man, we have to set the pace. You know what I mean? For those of you who have had your advocacies, you know what I mean? All of your social media platforms, and then you were advocating for change. Is this the transformation that we want? This is the change that we advocated for some kind of token job. If you go back to our videos, you'll see it. You know, we talk about the knowledge of self. Talk about how can they know until they have a teacher. For lack of knowledge, the people perish, redistributing the pain. So we're saying here tonight, the quest for a blueprint. We do want a blueprint. Without a blueprint, no, we cannot make it. Because the blueprint serves as the guide, the pattern by which we can build this country and make this country better for everyone. This country is not just for Bassa people. It's not just for Crown people. It's not for Congo people, so to speak, because I don't even see anyone as a Congo person. You know what I mean? I don't see anyone as a Bassa person. Before you're Bassa, you're a Liberian. Before you Crown, you're a Liberian. Before you Crew, you're a Liberian. Let's begin to see ourselves from those lenses, I would say, from our peripheral. And so maybe that's why, you know, sometimes we use exposies to say, you know what I mean, we need some new Johns. The mindset, when you're having a conversation, the first thing you want to know, who is he? Where is he from? He's from Lofa, he's from Ghana, Ganta, he's from Saklapie, he's from Banga, and this and that. No, you're citizen of the world. Unfortunately, we find ourselves in that domain. You know who carved Africa so that we can have Liberia today? You know what I mean? It was in the 1800s. Africa was carved by the Europeans. And it's obvious because ever since history has been recorded, there's always been the difference against the difference. And I can prove that to you. Black against white, the Egyptians against the Israelites. You know what I mean? There's always been this class, they want the upper and lower class, they lead and all of that. But we need to move from the position where we have to other people doing the thinking for us so that we can make our world a better place. And that's why the We Too movement is asking for a blueprint. Without a blueprint, we believe that this country cannot move any further because we're one continuity. We have our children. I mean, the diaspora here, people are learning all over the place, but we don't have these teachings. And so if you're tuning, you're watching the We Too All Liberians Movement platform, your distinct and dynamic platform that speaks to and for the masses. I'm about 50, a little over 50 minutes. You know what I mean? These topics that they inspire, you know what I mean? I have no notes, to say, yes, I do put down some points, but I don't even know where they come from. And so these are, messages and teachings that hopefully, this platform will be used as a medium where we can all come and discuss, not only discuss the issue, because we only don't want to talk as Malcolm X would say. You know what I mean? We want to walk the walk. You know what I mean? Yes. If we can deny self, we'll go on and on. Who are our towering examples to say, oh, we can stand on this person, that person, to say, you know what? Yeah, these are the examples. So the quest for a blueprint, national blueprint. I should have had over the quest for a blueprint, a national blueprint for this country. Sorry, I did not put it over there. I think I'll go ahead and make the change right now. The quest for a national blueprint is the topic tonight. We need a blueprint. We need a blueprint, a national blueprint for this country to make a difference. To make a difference. Without a national blueprint, I'm saying seriously, we would not be able to. I'm typing that in there. You know what I mean? Liberia deserves better. The quest for a national blueprint. That's exactly what we need. You know what I mean? This country deserves better. We must stop the hypocrisy. We must stop mendacity, the lies. You know what I mean? And so we need some young men. We got to call for it. Don't just settle for less. Don't report confidence in the low 100,000, 200,000, or 1 million, things like that. You're selling your country at the expense of your people. We can make this country better. The quest for a national blueprint. Unfortunately, what we are seeing today is as a result of what we've taught our people. So the guy who just wants to go to, he's not even interested in getting quality education. What he's more interested in how he can acquire wealth, the acquisition of wealth. You know what I mean? It's not more about how he can build himself up, how he can make the nation better, how Liberia can be better, you know what I mean, so that the country can be emancipated from the situation that she's in. So without blueprint, that's what we're talking about. So we do the foundation, we do our walls, we do our, you know what I mean, we get our roof, we get our windows, you know what I mean, paint, and then we say we're finished. If we stop somewhere and we get caught up, then someone can come and take over. This is how. I mean, the thing is, we are actually the fathers and mothers of civilization. Why would Liberia be so far behind? National blueprint. I'm sorry that I will have it written that way, where I have the national, because I put it, I have it all capitalized because, and I wanted to stand out. The quest for a national blueprint for Liberia is the key to Liberia's answer. And so that's what we use, Rwanda as an example. Rwanda is succeeding today because of a visionary mindset. Borka, do you have a visionary mindset? How people fighting over speakership? You know what I mean? Are people fighting over the majority and minority block and all of that? You know, I'm almost an hour into the discussion tonight or the show tonight. You know, what I mean, this is the We Too Our Librarians movement, the platform that speaks to and for the masses. This is all we do. The quest for a national blueprint is what we are asking for. What is your life's blueprint? If we're to bring it into a more, you know, just individual, the quest for a national blueprint. So tonight, this is how we're going to conclude the show. This is again the We Too Our Librarians movement platform. As we all know, that the movement is not just a community; it's a way of life. We're about teaching. You know what I mean? We have no doubt that the country will be better, and that's why we decided unequivocally. We've decided to choose optimism over cynicism. We're not going to stop. You know what I mean? Hopefully on Tuesday. Again, we want to apologize for being out here late. On Tuesday, we will have a guest in person of Stephen Copa, a.k.a. Adriano. I mean, he will. There's a whole lot that we have to talk about. So we're excited. Mom, don't give up, because somebody's going to rise up to the occasion. We see the sufferings that's going on. You know how people burning every day. Now people are dying. There's fires over the physical fires. People suffering the fires of not only physical fires, and fires of hunger. You know what I mean? Hopelessness, helplessness. So we need to move in the position where we have the other person thinking for us. This should not be about, you know what I mean, our alignment with any political party, things like that. It should be about delivering our people. I mean, that's the true meaning of our life. It's not, you know what I mean, the acquisition of this and that. You know what I mean? I got this degree, I got that degree, I got this many houses, and I'm wearing this Rolex watch. You know what I mean? I got this Mercedes-Benz sitting on 22s in my driveway. I mean, hopefully this message will be able to attract the attention of the masses, and you know, we'll resonate with our people. You know, we'll have a topic here that states the quest for a blueprint, because without blueprint, we would not be able to move any further. So hopefully, the great, you know what I mean, we'll say President Joseph Boakai, I'm sorry. Hopefully you can, you know what I mean, take heed to our teaching, and you know what I mean, the quest for a national blueprint, so that we can, you know what I mean, find a solution, the way forward, so that this country. Just to conclude with, we decided some of the points we want to stress here. We want a blueprint that will focus on economic growth, technology, strict, you know what I mean, anti-corruption measure should be key on in the primary focus. When our vision should focus also on education and healthcare. And our plan should not only be limited to that, but also to infrastructure development. And I mean, efforts should be made to attract foreign investors into the country. You know what I mean? Hopefully Liberia can be a bigger, you know what I mean, of hope for Africa. And that's what Liberia should be. So 2 minutes, a little under 2 minutes. Being your host as usual. This is the We Too Our Librarians movement platform, your distinct and dynamic platform that speaks to and for the masses. This is how we're going to close the curtain tonight. You have a great and blessed day. I hope this topic will resonate with you. We're not going to stop. You know what I mean? We're going to continue this. Have a great and blessed night. As being your host as usual, C.I.J. Williams. Look forward to seeing you. And hopefully this topic resonates with you. The quest for a national blueprint. You have a good and blessed day. And this is the We Too Our Librarians movement platform. Thank you very much for watching. Have a good day. A good night. Bye.
Simple life. It's all we want to live. Give me food, give me clothes, give me love, and give me shelter.